Good morning everybody, and welcome to Friday. And what a beautiful day it is today. Outside, sun shining. When we were stood outside this morning in the courtyard welcoming in you children that are in school, it was so beautiful. All the birds were singing and everything on the glad tree was shining, so it was really lovely. So welcome to everybody. Nice to see you all here again for our Friday assembly. And next week, the assemblies we have next week will just really be the last ones, won't they? Virtually, we'll still do our we can still do our Friday one like this, because then at least parents at home are going to be able to see and share in all the successes that we're having. But then we will all be back in school, which is absolutely fantastic. So just on that note, so if you are doing your learning from home, hair's tickling my nose. If you are doing your learning from home, next week is the week where you need to start thinking about getting yourself back into those routines to come into school. So if you've been having a bit of a late bedtime maybe, or having a bit of a lay in the morning, the next week's the time where you can start to make those little adjustments and get yourself back into a bit more of an earlier time to go to sleep, and then get up nice and brightly refreshed in the morning, ready to come in. So thinking about your breakfast and those sorts of things as well is a good idea. Right, okay, so we're going to start with our star of the week then this morning, and we've got, oh hello, we've already got Hayden is here. So Hayden, you are our, can you see yourself on your screen? Yeah, there you go. Look, there's you. So this is for you, Hayden, for being inquisitive. That's a big old word, inquisitive.
Inquisitive.
Do you know what that means?
No.
No. Well, I can tell you. That means being really wanting to know lots of questions about space, asking why. Why does that happen? I wonder why that happens. I wonder why this looks like this. Because you've been thinking about space, haven't you? And you knew loads, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, like gravity helps us. It sticks us to the ground.
There you go. Gravity helps us because it sticks us to the ground. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well done. Are you looking? What are you looking at?
Look.
The clock.
Oh, it goes tick, tick, tick.
Does it tick?
Yours is going slow.
That's right. See, inquisitive about the clock. That'll get you far in this world. So well done to you, Hayden. That's super duper. I'm going to give you a clap. And everybody be clapping at home and in school. And then if you go out there to Miss Millie, she will take your picture. There you go. You see, being inquisitive. Perfect. Well done to Hayden. And also in EYFS, I have got a certificate for Amelia. So well done, Amelia. Your certificate is for super work in your maths learning. So that's brilliant. So well done to you. Good old job. So I'll put yours there, Amelia. So when you come back in, only a week to go now, you'll be able to pick it up. Okie dokie. Right. Year 1. So in year 1, this is for Charlie. Now Charlie is in school, and he has been working really hard with his reading and becoming much more confident in it. And the reading, as we've said so many times, the reading is the most important thing you can do when you're little and you start to learn your phonics. That is the most important thing that you can do, because if you can read, you can do anything. Here he is, that Charlie. So this is for your reading. So have you been enjoying your reading a little bit more? Yeah. Can you remember what you've been reading about in your story?
Super snail.
A super snail. Ooh, that sounds interesting. A super snail. Yeah, that's brilliant. So well done, Charlie. Working really hard and becoming a confident reader. Does your mum ask you to read at home sometimes with her? Yeah. I bet your mum does. She knows all about reading, your mum, doesn't she? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to give you a big old clap, Charlie. Well done to you. All right, sweetheart, you go and get your picture taken out there. So yeah, reading. If you don't do anything else, just get your children to read, and that's perfect. Okay, so this is for year 2 now, and these are for 2 children that are learning at home, and the first one is for Lily. So well done to you, Lily. And this is something that I'm really interested in as well, because soon we're going to have a census, and that's where everybody we count everybody who lives in England and what they do. You all right? Okay, is that right?
Yeah.
Mrs. Johnson's just checking I've got the right one. The census. So find out who we are, what we need, so how many schools they'll need, how many hospitals they'll need for everybody that's living and working in the country. And Lily's been having a look at the census and creating her own questions. So well done to you, Lily. And that's the work we're going to be doing in school as well. So remember, everybody, that when you get your census form, you need to fill it in so that everybody can get counted, and then we will know all about the things that we need to provide for everybody. So well done to you. And also, well, it's a good day in Amelia and Alexa's house, because this is for you, Alexa, and this is for working really well at home and having a good old positive attitude. So well done to you. Brilliant work. I'll put yours there. Right. Yeah. Oh, was Lily? That was Lily Price in year 1, wasn't it? Not year 2. I do apologise. That was where I've just seen now the other one. I'm so sorry, Lily. I've got you into a different age group. Oh, I'm in a muddle, Mrs. Johnson, but it's fine, because now I've got year 2. It's Friday. It is Friday. Now I've got year 2, definitely year 2, and that is for you, Darcy. Darcy C in year 2 for being a superstar with your learning at home. So well done to you, Darcy. We've seen lots of bits and pieces that you've been doing it as well, and we like it when you pop up on the screen dressed as a magician and all sorts of various things, keeping us entertained. So super duper. I'm sorry, Lily, I got you in the wrong year group. I was making you a year older than you were. Okay, then, year 3. These are definitely in year 3, and this is for Lily. Lily in year 3, and this is for being really dedicated to your home learning and joining. This is above and beyond. This is joining in Teams calls whilst you're in the car. So somebody in your house must have Teams on their phone, maybe, and you've been able to sit in the car and actually join in, which is brilliant. So well done to you. Well done to you. That's absolutely fantastic. And we often say in school at New Swanington that we learn lots of things. We learn academic things, we learn lessons, but we also learn and develop our characters and what kind of people we're going to be. We talk about resilience and perseverance and kindness and courage. So I can see you developing lots of character traits there as well. So well done to you, Lily. And also to Neve. Well done, Neve, in year 3 for your mature attitude. Well done to your learning at home, because it's been a bit of a strain, hasn't it? And we're getting to the end of it now, which is lovely. So well done to you, Neve, as well, because I know how difficult it is for everybody. Put yours there. Okay, right, year 4. Okay, so in year 4, I've got a young lady with working really hard at home on her times tables, and that's for Evie. Well done, Evie. I know times tables is something that it's a bit like reading times tables. If you can nail your reading and you can nail your times tables, you're pretty much there, because knowing all your multiplication facts is really, really helpful for all of maths. So brilliant work for you, Evie. And then well done to Alfie. Alfie in year 5. Alfie's in school. We've just had his brother, and now we've got Alfie. And this is for your fantastic work in maths and your writing and a great attitude to all your learning. So come on down, Alfie. And Alfie, you just on it, aren't you? You just get on, don't you? Yeah, you don't bother with anything. There's no alarm, harassment or distress, is there? You just do it. So fantastic work in maths, writing, and just a great attitude to all your learning. So you are a superstar.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Well done. Big claps to everybody else that's had their certificates. Right, year 5. I just said he was in year 5, and he's not. He's in year 4. I do apologise, everybody. I think it's got to Friday, and I've just got myself in a bit of a ravel. This is definitely year 5 now. This is for. Well, we'll start with this young man. This young man is at home, and he's been working really, really, really hard throughout everything. And he's made a great, and I think it says a rap about space, which sounds amazing. So well done to you, Josh. Brilliant. I wonder if your mum has been having a hand in teaching you how to rap, maybe. So well done to you, Josh. That's superb. And then we've also got Noah, and Noah's in school, and so he's going to come down, and his star of the week is for having a lovely mature attitude towards all his work. And Noah is a lovely young man. He comes in every day, and he walks in with his little sister, and he's just brilliant. So is Noah there? Here he is. Come on, Noah. Big smile on your face. This is for you, sweetheart, for having a mature attitude. So that means you're all grown up, aren't you? Yeah, and you just get on. You're a bit like Alfie, aren't you? You just get on. You don't cause any trouble. So well done to you, Noah. Good boy. Give you a clap. Well done. He's a man of few words as well, isn't he? Right, and then finally in year 6, I know these are definitely in year 6, we have got Jacob. So well done to you, Jacob, at home. Now you're coming to the end of it, Mr. Skinner wants to say thank you for working, as he wants to say thank you to everybody in year 6, of course. Thank you for working really, really hard throughout, and really, really digging deep and pushing through. So well done to you, Jacob. But that we've picked Jacob out here as one, but absolutely for everybody, you are all our stars of the week. You really are, because you are doing such a tremendous job. So just hang in, because there's one more week. And then we've got a young lady who's in school, and this is for Faye. And Faye, yours is for having really interesting ideas and making good contributions. So well done to you, because it's very important when you work in a class or as a team to contribute your ideas. And then eventually we put everything into the pot and we come up with something, which is really good. It's a hard thing to do that, to work as a team, because lots of people want their own ideas, especially when you're little, when you're a child, it can be quite tricky. So come on in, Faye. This is for you. She's getting very tall, aren't you, Faye? Everybody's got really. I think when you children come back after this, you're going to be so tall, like Faye. You've really grown. This is for having interesting ideas and making good contributions. So have you been telling people what you think? Yeah. It's always good to tell people what you think, isn't it? So well done, sweetheart. Well done. Really impressed. Give you a round of applause. Okay, so like I said, well done to everybody. And I know, we pick out stars, and sometimes you can feel a bit, it's not me. There's a long way to go yet. We've got all the way till the end of the school year, which is another term and a half. So we've got lots of time. It's, there are lots and lots of things that we absolutely know you are doing at home. I might not read your name out on screen, but I know in here, I know what you're all doing, and I'm very impressed with every single one of you. So super job, everybody. Right, just before we read a little bit more of our story, this is for people that are this is for everybody, really. Some people are in school, but you will be coming back into school shortly, everybody. And on the field, we've got a really, really horrible, soggy, muddy patch that's just got like a big swamp. And Miss Wells says coned it all off. So please don't go near it. So if you're in school, don't go near it, even if you're in forest school. And when you come back, it probably won't have dried up yet. So please just be mindful of that, because we want it to be all beautiful for the summer. So when you are all in shortly and the weather gets drier and nicer, we can all play on the field together, and which will be lovely, won't it, when we can all be together again. So that's just a little heads up for that. Okay, so let's read a little bit more of our story. Now, if you remember, if you were listening to our story, the children are in a little bit of peril, because we found out that Mr. Bunce is really not a very nice man, and he's taken away, he's got the map and he knows where the treasure is, and he's taken the ladder and he's climbed up the cliff, and he's left the children at the bottom of the cliff, and the tide's coming in and they're in a bit of a predicament, aren't they? So we're going to read on and see what happens. I predict that they might get rescued, so we're going to see who it is that comes to rescue them. Chapter 28, In Trouble. Isn't there any other way out? Any way we can get out at all? Asked Laura, searching frantically across the cliffs, looking for any possible way to climb out of danger. Well, not that I can see, said Tom in a panic. Well, can we swim for it? We could try, but look, over there, how fast the current is moving. Tom pointed past the underwater tunnel, where a current of water was ripping through the sea at tremendous speed, smashing it against the rocks. And that's the thing that's dangerous in water, isn't it? It's called currents, and are very fast throwing areas in the water that can drag you down, can pull you along, and you can't see them all the time. And that's why it's really, really, really so imperative, so important that you don't go into open water ever. You don't jump into rivers or lakes or things like that, or into the sea, because without adults with you that are going to help you, because it is very, very dangerous. Well, we'll just have to try and wait it out as long as possible, said Lara, feeling grim. Then somehow, we'll just have to try and stay afloat until the tide goes back out. Tom's heart sank, as he knew that it might take several hours for the tides to change, but he didn't see the value in telling the others that at the moment. Minutes passed in silence and despair, and by then they were standing in water up to their ankles, and the waves began to hit their knees. Barney jumped in surprise every time a large wave struck. Rufus even reached into his backpack. Anyone want a biscuit? How can you think of eating at this time? Lara shrieked. Well, if we're going to get washed away, I don't want to get washed away hungry, he replied. More time passed, and the waves leapt higher and higher. Tom, help me hold Barney, said Lara. He's almost underwater. Oh, poor Barney. They picked up the nervous and frightened dog, holding him in their arms above the water. Oh, this is awful, said Lara. Rufus, you're not still eating? Well, it just helps me take my mind off it, yelled Rufus, shoving another biscuit into his mouth. He has eaten all the way through this story, hasn't he? Just like his food. A noise started to hum in the distance, and soon it got louder until an extremely welcome sight appeared around the bay. A boat! Shouted Tom. Quick, get their attention, he said, and he was throwing his arms into the air. The children shouted as loudly as they possibly could, waving wildly, and a man in the boat spotted them and, to their immense relief, steered the small motorboat towards them. As it came closer, they were able to see the face of their rescuer. I wonder if you know who this rescuer might be. So it's a man. Who do you think? Anybody have a guess? Karim! They yelled in unison. An utter shock. I can't get right up to the cliff, called out Karim. Can you manage to swim out a little bit? The children swam a few metres out to the motorboat, and the young man helped them in one by one, finally heaving Barney into the boat with effort. Moments later, he'd navigated the boat through the rocks and was speeding along the Cornish coastline. Karim, said Rufus, we're all really glad you're here. I mean, really, but what are you doing here? Karim sighed. When I read this story the first time, I thought, I'm quite shocked it was Karim. I didn't expect it to be him. I thought him and Mr. Bunce were a bit like that, and they were baddies, but maybe not. Well, Bunce is a crook, he said. I came to the British Museum to research my final thesis. So that's all the work he was doing about Egypt. I never wanted any of this. Bunce said if I didn't come to Cornwall and help him, he'd write to my university supervisor in Cairo and give me a really bad report and make me fail all my work. It was bad enough having to snoop around following you guys all the time. But when the workmen discovered that tunnel under Queen Nefertiti's statue this morning, I heard Bunce telling them if they came across you in the tunnel, they would get rid of you. I just knew I got to do something, so I made myself scarce so I wouldn't have to go with them. Then I looked in your rooms and I found the map in the box. I saw that the tunnel led underground, and I also saw the warning about tides. So I went down to the beach and spoke to that old man, Sam. He said there are loads of tunnels inside the cliffs, even some by the castle beach, but that they're dangerous and they get flooded by the tides. So that's why Barney kept running off to go on the beach, interrupted Lara. He kept disappearing on the castle's beach. Even Sam came out of nowhere one day. Well, anyway, said Karim, I knew it would be a bad idea to follow you down the tunnel. Either I'd run straight into Bunce or be underwater. So I ran down to the harbour as quickly as I could and hired the boat. I saw Bunce and the workmen walking at the top of the cliffs beside the castle, and I knew he'd left you kids somewhere since you weren't with him. So, I'm just happy I found you. Well, not as happy as we are, said Rufus. Lara looked at Karim and felt slightly guilty for all of the time she had felt severely irritated by him following them around. Suddenly a thought occurred to her. Wait! Stop the boat! She shouted. Karim stopped so abruptly that Rufus almost flew out of the boat back into the water. What's up with you? He asked Lara. If we go back to the castle, Bunce and his gang might see us from the cliff, she explained. We've got to let them think that we've got washed out to sea. If they think that we're still here, they'll get away and the police won't catch us. Have they actually committed a crime yet? Asked Tom. I know Bunce stole a painting, but we don't have any proof, and it's been sent back. Well, I can talk to the police about that, said Karim. He also impersonated a police officer on the telephone to your uncle. Well, they'll be going back to get the whole lot of treasure when the tide goes out, said Rufus. If the police met them there, they could catch them trying to steal the treasure to sell on the black market. I was wondering, said Laura, how do you think the walls of the treasure cave has closed on their own? It was really spooky. I was thinking that too, said Tom. There must be some sort of tool that triggers the door closing once the water has reached a certain level, and that stops all the treasure being washed away by the sea. Ooh, an ingenious man, your ancestor, observed Karim. Karim turned the boat back around and they headed back towards the harbour in the opposite direction to the castle. Once there, Karim returned the boat to its owner and they walked to the police station. Tom, bellowed the officer at the desk who knew the Burts well. I've had your mother ringing up today to say the whole lot of you have been missing. I told her you'd likely gone off somewhere together. I'll give Mrs. Burt a ring now. I think you'd just better wait a bit, said Tom, worried his mother would give the game away to Mr. Bunce. We've got a lot to tell you. Okay, to leave it there. It's got quite late now, hasn't it? And it's going to be the final mission is the next chapter. So that's chapter 29. And then we've got chapter 30. That's the final one. And that is called The End of the Adventure. So we can leave that till next week. And then we can enjoy that together with our last week of our home learners, and then we can think about what we'd like to read and do for assemblies coming up in the new term. Well, not the new term, but the bit where we all get back into school. Okay, so have a lovely, lovely day, everybody. Have a great weekend. The sun is going to shine, I think, on the weekend as well. So that's brilliant. Get yourselves out and about. Remember what we've said about trying to get yourself, I know it's hard, trying to get yourself back into that routine. Give your uniform a try on because I bet that doesn't fit anymore. So have a little look. We know the shops are closed, non-essential at the moment. So if your school trousers or your skirt's a little bit tight because you've grown, it's okay to wear a pair of dark trousers or joggers, not jeans, but something like that. And if your school shoes definitely don't fit anymore, don't try and squeeze your feet into them. If you've just got a pair of alternative shoes or some trainers or something, dark trainers, if you can get those on, and that's absolutely fine. But as soon as the shop's open, hopefully you'll be able to get back to your uniform. If it's PE for you and forest schools, remember you come into those clothes ready, so you don't have to keep changing. It'll still be bubbles for the moment because lockdown isn't going to be released until absolutely the 21st of June. So we still will be in bubbles. We'll still have the gates open from Harper State for you to be able to come into school staggered like you did. Excuse me. So just come up when you're ready and come in those different doors if you can remember them. And Mrs. Johnson and I, Miss Millie, will be there ready to welcome you in. Okay, but try and adjust your routine a little bit. And also, I did put on the letter if you want to bring a snack, a healthy snack, fruit or something, because you're going to be so hungry when you've been off. It's easy to pick throughout the day. I do all the time, and then when you're back in school, you get extremely hungry when you can't have those breaks. So just try and prepare yourselves a little bit. We are very excited to be seeing everybody back in, and yeah, so we can have another little chat next week. So if you've got any questions that you want to know, any mums and dads or anybody, just give the office a call, and then we will see what we can get up and running. We're hoping as well, we'll let you know as soon as we can if we've got any after school sports clubs that we can run, because we're allowed to do that as well with the new guidance. So hopefully we can provide some of that as well for you. All right, guys. So have a lovely, lovely weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Well done. And just one more week, and then we will be there. All right. Take care. See you later. Bye.